Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, and it is a pleasure to be joined in person by Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel, we've talked a lot of times over Zoom, but great to get you in person. Another London Fight Week. How are we feeling?
I feel great, as can be, because obviously I'm cutting weight right
Mm.
now. So I'm like, oh, it just sucks. Even if you said to me, you just don't have to eat for a day, I'd be moaning. So, yeah, once the weigh-ins are done, then I'll be even happier. But, camp's gone as good as it could go. The weight's gone as good as it can be. And now it's just the fun part.
For those who don't know, obviously Nathaniel training out of London. You stay at home during
Mhm.
fight weeks for UFC London. How much of a difference is that making? Is what one of the benefits and maybe a drawback or two of staying at home?
So for me, it's massively an advantage because I'm one of these people. I like to be at home.
Mm.
I like to sleep in my own bed with my wife. My daughter's in the house. I've got my dog. I walked the dog this morning, then come here, and I just like to stick to normality. Whereas, you can go stir crazy in a hotel sometimes. There's only so much you can do, and then you're just overthinking things. So being at home for me is a massive advantage, and it's definitely a luxury.
You're almost like a staple on these London cards, isn't it? We get this fixture third to fourth week of March. We generally speaking know that you're gonna be on that. It always feels like a good start of the year.
Yeah, there's been two cards that I fell out of where I got injured when I was meant to fight Lauren Murphy. There was the one where the guy pulled out the night before. So there's been a couple that I've actually missed. But yeah, fighting in London, it just makes sense. Why would I not fight on it? I'm 40 minutes from the venue. It's my hometown, so always makes sense.
Morgan Charriere, I mean, this is a great fight, great opponent, but then when I look at what he's done in the UFC and I look at what you've done in the UFC, there's obviously a massive disparity there. Can I ask, when you were presented the name, was there any surprise with this one?
There wasn't a surprise because I know that there was a struggle in getting opponents. Everyone has been pretty much booked up. So it was like, I started looking and thinking, okay, well, Morgan's not got a fight and he's from France, which isn't far from London. It's a couple of hours. So it makes sense. So when it did get announced, I was like, okay, I get it. If it was like me going, oh, I'm going off the rankings and all that, it wouldn't make sense. But again, like I just said in the media scrum, I'm so over the whole ranking situation. I'm just like, listen, give me a good fight. Morgan brings a good crowd. Stylistically, it makes for a good fight. And yeah, I'm excited for it.
England versus France is one of the old rivalries as well. When you think about football, you think about military history. There's a lot of history there, and we see more of it on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it just makes for that little bit more excitement. It just brings a little bit something more than just a fight. If the UFC said to me, you're fighting some guy that no one's ever heard of, and that's it, it'd be like, that sucks. But at least I've got someone who brings a great crowd. He's got about 300,000 followers on Instagram. He's a bit of a celebrity in France. So yeah, it's going to be good.
Does the matchup excite you stylistically when you look at what you do, you look at what he does? Does it excite you?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, the most boring style matchup would be like, okay, you've got this guy that's just going to wrestle, and that's it. You've got a guy that's just going to shoot for the double leg every 2 seconds, and it's like, oh, come on, we know that's going to be a snooze fest. So to have Morgan, who, if you've seen his fights, he isn't ever in really a boring fight. It's what I like, and that's probably where I'm going to thrive.
I saw a video you put out on your Instagram, and you've been putting quite a lot of content out recently, courtesy of Will in some aspects, but in others. There was a motivational video you put out where Brad Pickett was talking about how people don't want to spar you when your baby's in the room because I think the quote was, "You're fighting for your life."
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
It's just extra motivation. Right? So when my daughter comes to the gym with me, and I go in there, I'm like, sounds cheesy, I'm fighting for her now. And even though it's okay, it's only sparring, I'm not trying to kill my opponents by any means. I'm switched on because I've got my motivation right there looking at me. And who wants to get beat up in front of their daughter? So yeah, having her in my head, fighting for her, is that extra
Is it extra motivation or is it a change of motivation? Like, if you grow more motivated, or is it just change?
Maybe a change, because if I'm just fighting for myself, then I can be lazy. I can take time off. If I'm going to miss a round out, or whatever, I'm only doing it for me anyway. So it can be very selfish. Whereas now, it's like let's just say I'm going to miss a day's training. Well, you can't. You've got your daughter. Who's going to provide for her? So I do better when I'm doing something for other people. When it comes to Christmas, I don't want nothing. I want to get other people stuff. When it comes to training now, it's like, I don't want to train for me. I want to train for her. I want to provide the better life for her. I want to earn more money. Why do you want to earn more money? So you can get a Rolex or get another car? No, I want to be able to give her everything. So yeah, change your motivation.
I remember we did an interview before your featherweight debut. That was against Charles Rosa, remember correctly?
Yeah.
Charles Rosa. And I remember there was quite a lot of skepticism going around when you made the move up to featherweight. You were talking to me about how you're going to be more skilled than the guys. It wasn't a size thing; it was a skill differential. You win this fight, you're 5-1 in the featherweight division. When do we start talking about getting a number next to your name?
Well, that's what I said in the media scrum. You know, I'm like, I don't know what you got to do to get ranked opponents anymore. You know, sometimes I'm thinking, I'm going to get ranked after this, and then I don't, and whatever. You know, I'm going to go in there, do the best I can. You know, put my best performance on. Hopefully, the UFC like it, reward me for it, and you know, which would mean more money, number next to your name, etc. But really, the goal is now for me just try and be as active as possible because it's been a bit tough lately, and just provide, man. You know, provide for the family, earn as much money as I can, and just enjoy whilst I'm in my prime.
I saw you say recently that your ultimate dream in fighting, or one of your ultimate dreams, is to headline at the O2. What do we need for that to happen?
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like, especially when it's a fight night card, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, maybe I could headline it, but I don't know. I don't know what I've got to do. You know, there's so many big names now that you just got a lot to compete with. You know, when you've got the likes of Paddy Pimblett, massive name, you know, 3.4 million followers on Instagram. If he's going to be on the card, he's always going to be in front of me. You know, even if I'm ranked above or something, unless you're fighting for the belt, you're always going to put those real big draws at the top. And I'm competing against a lot of people now where they've got a bigger following, you know, they've got a bigger name. So, yeah, I just need to hope that, you know, I work my way up the ladder, and if they give me a title shot or, you know, a top 10 and me and the opponent are a good name, maybe it can be a main event.
I love it, mate. Last one from me. Thank you so much for your time. Saturday, as you envisage it, as you visualise the day, talk me through what happens in a perfect world from morning to night.
I wake up, do a nice number 2 after cutting a little weight because
priorities.
I haven't done one for a while, so go and walk the dog, nice cup of tea, and come up and fight, man.
I love it, mate. Look, so happy that we could catch up in person. We've caught up many times over Zoom, but it's always more special in person. It'll also be the first time I've ever seen you watch fight live, so I'm looking forward to that. Have a great and safe rest of the fight week, and best of luck for the fight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.